Okay, today we're going to talk about the safety on the table saw. Well, the first thing you got to do is dress correctly. So, first thing, safety glasses. Next, you'll want to put a shop coat or an apron on, tied at the back. Tie back any long hair and remove any jewelry or watches that you have. Next, we're going to talk about using the table saw, some of the safety procedures. One of the things you have to remember is you need a push stick if you're cutting anything less than 6 inches. Your fingers must remain 6 inches away from the blade. Another thing is the height of the blade. You want to expose no more than 3/8 of an inch or a pencil width. So if you look, pencil width, 3/8 of an inch, perfect. That's exactly how much blade you want to show before you cut. The main cutting function of the table saw is called ripping. So if you want to cut this piece of wood along the grain, that is a rip cut. If you're cutting across the grain, that is called a cross cut. So the main cutting function of the saw is ripping, although you are able to cross cut with the proper tools. Okay, now there's certain rules that apply only to the table saw. Okay, so one of the things you want to realize is if you're cutting, you want to stand to the left of the blade. If there's a kickback, this is the part that will be kicking back, and you don't want to be in the direct path of a kickback. The other thing you will be doing is before you cut, look over your shoulder. Sometimes you may have a student standing there doing some work, and you want to make sure if there's a kickback, it does not hit anybody standing behind you. Your fence must be adjusted manually, so when you adjust your fence, you must make sure you lock the fence so it doesn't move. Nothing worse than having a fence move as you're cutting. You must make sure your kickback fingers and your splitter are in place. There are times when they must be removed, but when you're doing most cuts, they need to be in place. Once you measure for your piece, you will measure the nearest tooth, exactly the piece you need, then you must lower your guard. You must protect your fingers, so the guards must be in place. If you have long stalks, such as a piece of plywood or long pieces, you should have someone help you tailor out long pieces, so they're going to help support that end as you're cutting through. Okay? Also, you must make sure you have the proper blade on. If you're doing a cross-cut blade, you can't put a cross-cut blade. In this case here, we have a combination blade, some small teeth, some big teeth, and it's a good multi-purpose blade. Make sure you have the 3/8 above. It's very important that you don't have too much blade exposed in case you have a kickback or in case your hand slips. Okay, so now we're going to get ready for our cutting. Our first cut here, we're going to cut a piece at 5.5 inches. So a push stick will be required. So I will take it, I'll check the measurement to the nearest tooth, exactly 5.5. Now I will lower my guard. Turn the machine on. Push it, do not put the push it over the fence, if you're away from the fence. All the way through, and turn the machine off. When the blade comes to a complete stop, you raise the guard, the strap, and you have your piece that's cut.